Hello to all my friends out there. So, we're all stuck in our houses, and I guarantee you, everybody in the U.S. has taken a different approach to this sequestering. So, what I'm doing basically, I hope everyone is doing okay. You guys, be very, very careful. I'm praying for all of you. Remember, God provides. Okay, so I made some tea. If you keep your tea really, really cold, it's not going to be bad to drink at all. You could put some lemon in it, but I'm not likely to run out of lemon, so I don't want to really use my lemon up because I might need it. And I really don't like it in my tea anyway. So what I want to do is I want to make a cheap meal, and I want to tell you guys about something. Okay, I go from time to time to the Adventist church. And in this one particular church, actually they're a pretty wealthy church. There's one particular church I went to, there's never enough food. And there's, people show up for lunch. Also, if you guys get really hungry, go to the Adventist church. Sorry, you fellow Adventists, but they could really be hungry. Okay, and my friend accused me of going there for the food, but they're vegetarians, so, it really wasn't that good. It's not funny, I'm sorry. But what the ladies would do is they would go into the kitchen and they would pray over the food, and they would cut the food in little pieces, and believe it or not, it multiplies the food. This is one small potato, one egg, and one piece of bologna. Any kind of lunch meat that you might have, or any kind of meat. Bacon, sausage. So I fried the potatoes, and I fry them separate because if you try to scramble everything together, it seems like anything goes wrong. So I want to be cheap, and I want to use my oil up. I think that's about right. No wasting, and I want to fry up my scramble. Last night I made a tasty loaf of bread. You want good bread. If you are going to have to, use your bread for survival, you want good bread if you can. But if you have bread, be very careful with your bread. And you never know if somebody comes to your door and you have bread to give them, it's going to be a good situation. So I want to carefully fry my bologna. I made this before, and it was just horrible. I was hysterical. I woke up hysterical. I was fine. I woke up hysterical. I burned all the food. I couldn't find anything. I was a mess. Chances are I'm not the only woman out there that is like this. And their husbands are probably going, will you stop? No, we can't stop. It's a bad time, you guys. If my husband was alive, he would call me up and go, okay, Ruthie, knock it off, okay? But he's dead, so he can't control me. So now I have to make my darn scramble over again, but that's okay because it really wasn't edible. So I have powdered milk. There's still a little time to get stuff, you guys. Just be very careful. If you have a mask, wear your mask. I love to watch the women, they're doing their videos, and they're hysterical. Oh my God. Okay, so you see my little bit of meat. Now, I've been eating this for years, so this is going to suffer no hardship on me. I want to flavor up my potatoes a little bit. So you guys, if you have channels and you have good ideas for what we can eat during this crisis, post them on YouTube. So we can all think of that. You know, this is very bad for your brain. When your brain is under stress, it releases a lot of cortisol. So you can, you know, it's really actually really bad for your brain. So you want to control. Okay, now what I did was I didn't scramble my eggs. I wanted to flip it, and that wasn't very successful. In fact, that was very unsuccessful. So I don't want to do that again. My new pans help a lot. What I did is I used my cast iron skillet that I'm not used to, and I burn it because it keeps getting hotter and hotter. And oh, okay. So we have a carb, we have a meat, we have a dairy, we have a protein, and we have a vegetable. Now that is not a vegetable. Yeah, that is a vegetable. That's going to do. This is no time to be splitting hairs. It is a mini vegetable. Out here in California, I don't care how luscious the eggs are. I want to cook my eggs because, you know, I don't trust them not to have salmonella. So you're home, so you can bake yourself a little bread. When I started this is my bread I made last night. When I started this, that's one of the things I wanted to convey, is the bread making and the gravy making. I will be making some sausage gravy, maybe tonight, maybe not. I have a good fat, my homemade butter, and I have a little fruit. Now, chances are, you know, even though this is like a dirt cheap meal, you know, you can get by. And if you make a big meal, like this is actually a pretty big meal. If you make a big meal, then you aren't going to get that sensation of hunger. And then you're not going to be going, wow, you know, I'm probably going to starve. We're not going to have any money. You're going to have to take this thing. My grandmother used to get up and make the bread every morning. And she, you know, after making it all of her life, she lived to be almost 100. After making it all of her life, she could make some good bread. You can imagine. I'm named after her. My grandmother's name was Rhoda. And I have 2 nieces that are named after me. Hope I'm not forgetting someone. I have 3 nieces that all look the same. And it was real baffling. You know, it was like 2 different brother-in-laws and, you know, 1 different sister-in-law. And finally, I realized that they looked like one of my uncles. You know, you aren't expecting. And the 2 that are named after me, 2 of them, resemble the uncle, but he's the one that resembled the grandfather that came from Switzerland. So they really take after my dad's side. Okay, so now we have a very tasty meal. I'm very dark. My grandmother had dark hair as well, but most of the women were light. You know, they were from the motherland, Switzerland. And believe me, they weren't going to let those babies go without food. Are you kidding? There was a whole bunch of them. You can imagine. Polygamous. They had a lot of children. I still can't believe they locked up the polygamist, you know, who was on TV all the time. But I don't see how they could legally lock him up when the whole state was full of polygamists. I thought that was awful. And then all the kids, you know, he had like 29 kids. Oh my goodness. So that was my family, the polygamists as well. They said that you know, there was martial law during the time that they attacked the Mormons. And the Mormons were basically attacked for polygamy. And so, but basically, I think they were going to steal all the food and the livestock as well. So my family was extremely hardy, and this is like my grandmother. Now she did not scramble everything together. The reason because our family didn't like the food scrambled together on that side, but I scrambled it all together because say this is actually enough eggs for 2 meals. But if you scramble your food together and you cut it in small pieces, it's going to go further. So don't ever forget that. I will give you a demonstration. I don't want to waste your guys' time. I want to show you something. Keep this in the back of your mind. You can put a little gravy on each. But you might go, well, it's the same amount. Yeah, it's the same amount, but don't ever forget this. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and God bless you.